Okay, so the topic for today is the sense organs, ear. I hope I am audible. Just a second, I'll check it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. So yes. Alright, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I am an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram. So for homework and class notes, you can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 and Telegram channel Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. So this link you will find in the description box. Okay, so you can click on the link and join the Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. And also we conduct free classes, that is special classes on Unacademy. So there you have an option of chat, and you can use the emojis as well. Also since lot of questions keep on coming, so there is a chance that your comment might get lost or your question might get lost. So there is a separate section which we call as a question tab, where you can type in your question, attach an image and send it to the educator during a live class, and they'll be clearing your doubts. Okay, also we are conducting a poll, like we have already started conducting the poll war or the quiz which you call. Okay, so there again question and the options are visible on the screen. So you will be getting options like A, B, C, D. So you will get options where you can choose the correct answer, and after the quiz is done, so we will be sharing the leaderboard so that you can know your rank, you can compete with your friends as well. Okay, so Unacademy subscription feature, so this is related to the plus class, where if you are taking a subscription, okay, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses will be there. Top educators of India are going to take the class in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. Then there is regular doubt clearing session. So after about every 3 session, we are conducting the 4th session, which is your doubt clearing session. So any doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubts in this session. Okay, then a complete coverage of a syllabus is done. Mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, the practice test series, live test series, batch courses. So you will have access to all of this. And here if you prefer to learn in Hindi, so you can learn in Hindi. Okay, so that is by going to the batch, which is where the mode of delivery is Hindi, and also there is a English batch as well. So depending on your preference, you can go for any of these batches. Then there is daily practice session, weekly mock test series, live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series. So you will have access to all of this if you are going for a plus subscription. Okay, so let's have a look at the respective cost which is mentioned here. So now since you are in class 10, okay, so you can go with 3 months of subscription because your finals are nearby. So we will be clearing your doubts. So I'll be discussing in my sessions, I'll be discussing the short answer question, MCQ type of question. Then you have diagram based question, which you call as a structured question. Then other than that, there is structure, the diagrams also which are there. So we can discuss all of that, since it is going to be useful for you all in those session. And if you are planning to take a subscription, so you can use my referral code VANIYT. Okay, so with this referral code, so you will be getting flat 10% discount. Okay, so flat 10% discount you will get with VANIYT referral code. Okay, so if you are planning to complete class 11 and 12, so maybe maybe you can go for higher months of subscription, again based on your convenience. Okay, so flat 10% off on 3 month subscription for ICSE class 10. So you can go for this one. So instead of 7,500, so it is made 6,750, and you can use my referral code Vani YT to get the subscription for 3 months. Okay, so there is a mega offer with this. Okay, so one thing is, let's say if you are going for 12 months of subscription, so extra 2 months you will be getting. So basically 14 months of subscription you are getting when you are buying a 12 months or more of a subscription. And on top it is there is 10% discount with the referral code, that is Vani YT. Okay, so you can use the referral code Vani YT. Okay, and this one is particularly valid for first 500 subscribers only. So you can hurry up and use this because there is a double offer which is there. So one is with the referral code and the another one is of 12 months plus 2. Okay, so the topic that I'm going to cover in this specific session is, one second. Okay, so elementary structure and function of the ear. So let's have a look at the ear structure, the mechanism of hearing, and the function of the hearing. Okay, so let's get started. Sense organs. Okay, so we have different sense organs. Okay, so 5 sense organs are there. So skin is the largest sense organ which is there in our body. Okay, so we have 5 different sense organs. One is eye, so there are photoreceptors. Okay, so in eyes you can find the ones which can take the light, so photoreceptors are there. Then ears. Okay, so there are eyes, there are ears, so ears are gonna take the sound waves. So basically the sound wave will travel inside here, that is through the auditory canal. So this is now a sound wave. Okay, and here the receptors will be there, so they'll be receiving the light. Okay, so light receptors are there. And here in the nose there are olfactory cells. Okay, so olfactory or the sensory cells, so I'll just write it as sensory cells also. So these sensory cells are also responsible for the sensation of smell. Okay, so this is done with the nose. So skin is for the sense of touch. Okay, so this is with respect to body, the complete body is covered by a skin, so in that the sensation of touch, then the temperature, pressure, everything can be felt over here. So these are the sense organs. And today, and one more thing is the taste buds. Okay, so that is the taste buds are basically the sensory cells will be there on the tongue. Okay, so that is another thing. So now with respect to all of this, okay, so now when we mention that, we are going to discuss about the ear today, where the sound waves are the ones which are traveling inside. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Function and parts of the human ear. Okay, so what exactly is human ear? Like, what is the main function? Is it just hearing, or is there a function of balancing also? Okay, so mainly when we mention about a ear, so human ear is having a 2 sensory function. What are those sensory function? Hearing and maintaining the body balance. Okay, so maintenance of the body balance and hearing is done by the ear. Okay, so now this ear is divided into 3 parts. Okay, so there is the outer ear, there is middle ear, and then there is inner ear. So let's have a look at this one now. So I'll draw it here itself. Okay, just a second. Okay, so now in case of a outer ear, okay, so outer ear is basically a pinna is present. Okay, so this is now a outer ear. So under a part of a outer ear, what is there? So there is a pinna. Okay, so next when we draw, so there comes the auditory canal. Okay, so let's draw this one. So this is now an auditory canal. Okay, so this is an auditory canal. So at the end of the auditory canal, what do we find? So there is a tympanum. So this one is actually the tympanum or the eardrum. Okay, so this is now an tympanum, okay, or the eardrum. All right, so I'll just label this one. So this can be eardrum as well. All right, so then other than that, so this will form the part of the outer ear. So this is going to form the part of the outer ear. So now this one is the outer ear. So we know that the ear, when we mention, okay, so in ear there are mainly three parts are there. So one is outer ear, then there is middle ear, okay, and then there is inner ear. So there is a inner ear. So this part will give us the outer ear. So I'll just label this one. So this is now a outer ear. So let's have a look at this one now. Okay, so here as you can see, okay, so outer ear consists of the pinna. So there is a pinna and external auditory canal is there. Okay, and other than that, the external auditory meatus extend inwards up to the tympanic membrane or a eardrum. So this one is a tympanum or the eardrum. So this is giving us the outer ear. So now let's have a look at the middle ear. Okay, so middle ear, I'll change the color to maybe okay, I'll change this color. So now there are ear ossicles which we can find. Okay, so let's say there is a hammer. Okay, so hammer is another ear, you know, it is a bone itself. Okay, so that is a ear ossicle, so which we can also call it as a malleus. Okay, so then in continuation we can find one more structure which is there. Okay, so this could be your hammer, anvil, and one more thing is stapes. Okay, so this is now a stapes. So this is actually the anvil. Okay, so I'll just label this. Okay, first I'll draw and then label. Okay, so then there is another part. Okay, so this is now a stirrup which is located onto the oval window over here. So this is now forming the oval window, and this structure what you find here, so that is a stirrup. Okay, so here these three are ear ossicles, so I'll just label them here. Okay, so these three are ear ossicles. So ear ossicle has fitted onto the oval window. Okay, so in ear ossicle what all do we find? So hammer, anvil, then there is this thing, what is that? So this is actually the stirrup. Okay, so other than that we can also call it as a malleus, incus, and a stapes. Okay, malleus, incus, and a stapes. So these are the other names which are there. So these three will form a ear ossicle. Then this one which is there, so this is oval window. Okay, so I'll just label, where here shall I label? Okay, one second. Okay, so now this one is a oval window. Okay, so there is a oval window, and the other one second, so the other one is a round window. Okay, so this is now a round window. So these three, I mean these two are there. Okay, and then below you can find, one second, I'll need to erase this because I need to draw a eustachian tube also there. Okay, so just a second. Yeah, so below you can find, over here you can find a eustachian tube. Okay, so eustachian tube is present, so this will make sure that equalizing a pressure is done. Okay, so this is now a eustachian tube. So eustachian tube, and other than that, you know, there is a oval window is already done, so there is a round window which is present. So there is a round window also. Okay, so now this part which I have drawn in maroon color, so this will give us a middle ear. Okay, so outer ear we have drawn, then there is a middle ear. So this is middle ear now. So outer ear will have only the pinna, then there is auditory canal, and then there is tympanum, that is eardrum. So in case of middle ear, So what do we find? So there is a ear ossicle, that is all the bones are there, oval window, round window is present, and eustachian tube. So this will form us this is forming the middle ear. So next have a look at the inner ear. Okay, I'll change this color. Okay, so now it will continue into this one. All right, so that the cochlea is present, so opening is over here. So now there is a formation of a cochlea which we can see. Okay, so this is now an cochlea, all right, which is forming 2.5 circles. Okay, so this will form a 2.5 circle. So this is now a cochlea. Okay, and on top, so here there will be a opening. Okay, so at this point we can find an opening where this is going to form the utriculus. Okay, and then the sacculus. Okay, so now as we open in over here, okay, so let's have a look at this one. So there are semicircular canals. Okay, so these are the semicircular canals which we can find. So this is the semicircular canal, and here this is sacculus part. Okay, so this is now a sacculus part. I'll just label this one. So this is sacculus part, and here you can find a utriculus part. All right, so then we have the another structure there. So this is now an ampulla region. So let's just draw one more over here. Okay, so this is now a semicircular canal. Okay, and then you can find one more structure. So there is actually a one other semicircular canal. So this is a semicircular canal which you can find. Okay, so now utriculus, the sacculus, the cochlea, and semicircular canal, so all these are forming the inner ear. So here this part I label this as a inner ear. Okay, so is this clear? So this is now an inner ear. Okay, one second. Okay, so now as we continue, so this will form us a utriculus. One second, where is this pen? All right. Okay, so as you can see in this picture, so this will form an inner ear, this is the middle ear. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so now there is a human ear when we mention. So this is having two sensory function, hearing and balance. Okay, so ear is divided into three parts. So outer ear, middle ear, and an inner ear is present. So this is now outer ear, the maroon color which I have labeled. So this is a middle ear, and this one is the inner ear. And you can see this labeling I need to do. So this is now a cochlea. Okay, so this whole structure which is there, so this is a cochlea. Okay, so cochlea, and onto the cochlea, so you can find the basilar membrane. So there at the basilar membrane, so let's say here is the basilar membrane which is there. Okay, so there onto this basilar membrane. Okay, so I'll just label this one. Yeah, so this one is the basilar membrane. So onto basilar membrane, so we can find certain cells. So those are actually the sensory cells. So those are organ of corti. Okay, so organ of corti also is found at this particular area. So this is organ of corti here. All right, so now these are the three parts which we find, and there is endolymph and perilymph which is present. So instead of seeing the structure of a ear as such, okay, so that is mainly the cochlea. So I'll just make a labeling over them, so where you can clearly understand where exactly perilymph is present and where exactly endolymph is present. So let's have a look at this one now. Okay, So middle ear is present. So in the middle ear, the contains 3 ear ossicles. So smaller bones are there. Okay. So these are all ear bones. So one is malleus, the other one is incus and a stapes. So for malleus, the another name is hammer. Okay. So there is a hammer, and for incus we can say anvil. Okay. And then for stirrup or a stapes, it is a stirrup. So these are the three, these are the three regular names which are there, but biological terms are malleus, incus and a stapes. Okay. So now these increase the efficiency of transmission of sound waves, that is to the inner ear. So what exactly happens in these? The amplification of sound wave is done. Okay. So at this particular junction, so we can find amplification. Okay. So amplification of sound wave occurs at the middle ear. Okay. So this is in the middle ear. All right. So now these increase the efficiency of transmission of sound waves to the inner ear. Now it is going from middle ear to the inner ear. So then there is Eustachian tube. Okay. So this Eustachian tube connects the middle ear cavity with the pharynx. Yes, are you all understanding? Any doubts? I'll explain about this one, about the Eustachian canal. Okay. All right. So here in this case, yeah. So your Eustachian tube is also a part of a middle ear itself. So what exactly does it do? So let's say towards this side there is a auditory canal, and here we can find this tympanum. Okay. And on the other side, so here we can find a Eustachian tube. Okay. So this is a auditory canal. This is now a eardrum. Okay. So this is Eustachian canal. So now the pressure equalization is done. So as you can see here in this diagram, so now this is now the ear ossicle. So this is the first ear ossicle which is there. So hammer, anvil, and then the stirrup, or we can say malleus, incus and stapes. So these are arranged at the middle ear, and as you can see, so this is the auditory canal and here the eardrum is there. So now let's imagine this is a eardrum. Okay. So what will happen? The vibration has to be set in there. Okay. So vibration will be set in as the sound wave is gonna pass through this structure. Okay. That is through the auditory canal. So now when the sound wave hits onto this particular auditory canal, okay, so that is when it will enter the eardrum. Okay. So now as in order for this particular eardrum to vibrate freely, okay, so this has to vibrate freely. So that is why the equalizing the pressure on the both the side, so that is done with the help of a Eustachian tube. So Eustachian tube which is there, so it will make sure that the pressure on this side is maintained, so that this eardrum which is there, so this can vibrate freely. So that is the cavity. So it is Eustachian tube is connecting the middle ear with the pharynx on the inner side. So that means it is connected on the inner side as well. Okay. So other than that, so let's have a look at the inner ear, so which we already discussed about. Okay. Okay, so now here in the inner ear, okay, so inner ear is not a air medium, so it is a fluid medium now. Okay, so in case of a inner ear, so it is a fluid medium, whereas in the previous one, okay, so here this was here and all, so here it is air medium was there, so there was no fluid. Okay, and even in case of outer ear also, so it has completely a air medium itself. So now what will happen? The sound wave is moving from the air medium to the fluid medium. So that fluid medium we find in the inner ear. Ma'am, do circulatory system. Circulatory system also, yes, I'll do that. Okay. Hi Charanjit, hi Parvez. So circulatory system, so since for this month already the classes I have assigned. Okay. So from March, that is another, so today is 26th, no? So 21st onwards, I'll continue with the circulatory system. Okay, I'll continue with that. Yeah. Okay, so now here in this case there is a fluid medium. So now the inner ear is filled with the fluid that is called as a labyrinth. So inner ear also can be called as a membranous labyrinth. So let's just write this one over here. So membranous labyrinth. Okay, so when we mention membranous labyrinth, okay, so this is the meaning of a inner ear itself. So what fluid do you find in membranous labyrinth? Parvez or Charanjit, anybody who knows what all fluid we can find in a inner ear? So since you might be in class 10 now, so there are fluids which we can find. Okay, so the fluid which is present, since the inner ear is completely of a fluid medium, so we can find, you know, there is a perilymph. Okay, so perilymph will be there, and other than that there is a endolymph also. So we will clearly see. I'll just, you know, instead of drawing a cochlea as a snail shell, so I'll just show you in an expanded form where we can see the clear picturization with respect to the cochlea and the arrangement of this endolymph and then a perilymph. Okay, so this is now a inner ear which is filled with the fluid, and that we call as a labyrinth. And again it is divided into two. Okay, so the bony labyrinth is there, and then the membranous labyrinth. Okay, so there is a bony labyrinth also, membranous labyrinth also. So we will have a look at that. Okay, so this we saw. So this is from your Selena textbook. Okay, so you have already I hope most of you are already referring the Selena. So because, you know, since I have undertaken, you know, I have taken the training for your ICSE evaluation, so you need to refer Selena, because all the questions which are there, so it is basically Selena based questions will be there. The answers that you will be writing, so that is also from the Selena itself. Okay, so go for Selena workbook. You can refer many. So make out a list of, you know, different list of organs or the function locations which are mentioned, so that, you know, last time preparation for your exam, so this is gonna help. So now the human ear, so this is mainly there for hearing and body balance. Okay, so now it is having three main divisions, so outer ear, middle ear and the inner ear. So outer ear, which is basically a projecting part, that is pinna is present. Yes, so page number 145. Yes, so this is basically from that Selena itself. Okay, so refer the Selena textbook, because when I attended the training for your ICSE evaluation, okay, so the trainer who had come, so he or she, so both were there. Okay, so both were there actually, who have contributed in writing for the Selena itself. Okay, so they were mentioning that always the evaluation team which is there, so they are performing the evaluation of your board exam with respect to Selena. So location when you are writing, so you might have noticed that, so they'll ask you to write an exact location. So whenever you are writing a location, make sure that you are writing an exact location, and same with respect to all others. So functions, the definition. So anyway, you do not have a law in this one. Okay, so that is in Mendel's law and all you had in the previous, that is term 1. Okay, so laws, the definition and the functions what you write, so these need to be exactly the, you know, exact copy of your textbook. So make sure that you write all of this in the manner which is mentioned in your textbook. So now outer ear, so this consists of a pinna. Okay, and the passage is auditory canal, which will lead to the eardrum or the tympanum. Then middle ear, so there is malleus, incus and stapes, regular name hammer, anvil and a stirrup. So these are basically in popular term itself, and Eustachian tube is also there. So this will form the middle ear. Okay, so now other than that, the three bones are collectively called as the ear ossicles. So there are ear ossicles which are present. So these are the ear ossicles. Okay, so now, you know, you can see in this picture which I have drawn. Okay, so you can see that all of them are connected to each other. Okay, so now eardrum is in continuation with the hammer, that is malleus. Now this hammer, one end of the hammer, okay, so let's say this is a hammer. Now one end of the hammer is attached to the eardrum. So let's say this is a eardrum now. So one end of the hammer is attached to the eardrum, then another end of this hammer, so it is in continuation with the anvil or a incus. So after that, let's say this is now an incus, okay, so this is an incus or an anvil. So below this part, what is this? So this is a stirrup now, okay, so this is in continuation with the inner ear. So this is now a cochlea. So you can see that all these three ear ossicles, so they are in continuation with the ear ossicle itself. So basically all these ear ossicles are joined together, and now it is opening at the oval window. So this stirrup or a stapes is attached to the oval window, and then that is how it is leading from the air medium to the fluid medium, because here we can find the endolymph and the perilymph. So we will see how exactly the arrangement is done. So I'll just draw it expanded instead of drawing it as a snail shell like this. So I'll just show you by drawing in a separate section so that you can clearly understand the presence of endolymph and the perilymph in that column. Okay, so now with respect to that, so the handle of hi Ishita, good evening. So any doubt, are you all understanding this? Any doubt are there? So ear structure, I'll just continue with the further also. So any doubt you have, you can ask your questions. Okay, so you can type in. I'll keep checking the chat section. All right. So now the handle of the hammer bone is attached to the inner surface of the eardrum. The opposite end is connected to the anvil. Okay, so this we saw. Then the stirrup will fit on to the oval window, so which is membranely covered. So this oval window is covered by a membrane. So let's say this is a oval window now. So there is a membranous covering which is there for this one. Okay, so after that a second opening is also there. So below itself you can find, so that is a round window, so that is also covered by a thin membrane. So there also a membranous covering is present. So these two which are there, so these are a part of a middle ear itself, but again they are connected with the inner ear. Okay, so what was the fluid name present in? Yes, so I'll say that. So the fluid name which is present is the perilymph and then the endolymph. So we will have a look at this one. So shall I draw it here? So basically I'll just draw the inner ear. So I'll just explain it. Okay, so what exactly? So let's say here this one is a oval window where the stirrup is fitting. Okay, so let's say here the stirrup is there. Okay, so stirrup is fitting onto this one as such. So this one is now a oval window. Okay, so now instead of drawing this cochlea in a circular manner as such, okay, so instead of drawing this cochlea as such, so I'll just make it a stretched form. Okay, so we will have a look at this one now. So I'll just draw it over here. So now there is a oval window, okay, onto which the stirrup is fitting. Okay, so let's say here the stirrup is fitting and this one is a oval window. So this is the last ear ossicle, so we will just write it as a stapes, and this one is a oval window. Okay, so now the cochlea we can draw. Okay, so cochlea I'm not drawing it as a I'm not drawing it as a snail. Instead I'm drawing it as a structure as such. Okay, so now here as you can see, so this will open as such. Okay, so now here there will be a round window. Okay, so this is a oval window and below here it is a round window. Okay, and there is again a closure over here. Okay, so this is now a cochlea. Instead of drawing a cochlea as a not the semicircular, why do I say that? Yeah, so instead of drawing the cochlea as snail, I'm just drawing it as expanded one. Okay, so this is now a round window. So as you can see in your textbook also, so they have named the canals. So that is canal 1, canal 2 and canal 3. Okay, so this canal 1 and 3, they will have a perilymph. Okay, so here the perilymph will be there, and 3 also is having a perilymph. Okay, and in canal 2, so there is a endolymph which is present. Okay, so this is now a endolymph, and you can clearly see over here. One second, I'll show you that picture. Okay, so you can clearly see that. So label 1 is given, label 2 is given, and label 3. Okay, so label 1 and 3, what are they? So they are having a perilymph. Okay, so label 1 which is mentioned, so that is a vestibular canal. Okay, and label 3 is the tymphanal canal. So this one is vestibular canal. Okay, so this one is vestibular canal and the other one is tymphanal canal. So I'll just label this one. So this one is now a tymphanal canal. So what is the middle one? So here the label number 2, what is there? So that is a median canal. So at the median canal we can find a basilar membrane. So this one now is a median canal. Okay, so median canal is having a endolymph and we can find a basilar membrane at this point. Okay, so here the basilar membrane is there. So onto the basilar membrane we can find cells, that is sensory cells are present here. So this sensory cells are called as a organ of Corti. Okay, so this is now a organ of Corti. Okay, and this part what you find, so this is a basilar membrane. Okay, so are you all understanding? Do you want me to repeat any of the part here? So the fluid present in our ear is wax. So that you are asking about. So at the entrance, so you can see here. Okay, so in this part, so the fluid, it is not exactly the fluid, it is actually the waxy material. So whenever a germ enters, so you know, since you are exposed to an outside environment, so there is an opening here. So there are a lot of germs can enter through your ear opening also. So if you remember, during a pandemic, so first thing that they said, so through your nose and mouth the germs can take entry. So that is basically COVID. Then also after that the face shield came. Okay, so face shield is basically to cover your eyes also and also to cover your ear to some extent. So basically through the ear also some pathogens can take entry, and here at this part, okay, so wax production will occur, that is at the auditory canal. So this wax is going to trap. Okay, so it will trap the pathogen or any germ particle or the dust particle. So it need not be pathogen always, it is to trap the dust or it is to trap a pathogen also. The wax production will occur, but the fluid which is present inside your ear, so that is the endolymph and the perilymph. Okay, so any doubt you have here? Samriddhi, is this clear? Okay, so I was just mentioning about this one. Okay, so there is a perilymph and then there is a endolymph. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So before I continue with the other parts, so this we discuss. Okay, so next is you need to specifically know, your board exam is very specific with the board question what they ask. Okay, so they'll give you a question like, so let me just write it here. Okay, so they'll give you a question like you need to pick a odd one out. So they can give you pinna, okay, and they can give you this thing, so that is cochlea they'll mention. Okay, so then they can also mention let's say eustachian tubule, right? Okay, so eustachian tube is there. Okay, and they can also mention, so which is, okay, one second, so this is eustachian tube I have mentioned, and one more thing is I'll write the malleus. Okay, so this is a malleus. So when they are asking such questions, so they'll ask you to pick a odd one out. Okay, so odd one out, and they can specifically mention you to pick out the part of a outer ear. Okay, so now you need to know that which exactly belongs to the outer ear, which exactly belongs to the inner ear, which exactly is a middle ear. So these two parts what are there? So these are under a middle ear and this is under a inner ear and this is the outer ear. So since they are asking you to pick the odd one out here, so outer ear with respect to that, pinna is the one. Okay, so you need to specifically know which is the part of a ear. So what part come in outer ear, ear, what parts come in middle ear and what parts come in inner ear. So with respect to the diagram that I have drawn here, so you can clearly make out. So even when you are practicing, okay, so even when you are practicing, make sure that you draw a diagrams, okay, so make sure that the color differentiation is there so that you can easily remember. So pinna, auditory canal and the tympanum, so these are coming under the outer ear. Then you know all the maroon structure what I have drawn, so that is coming under a middle ear, so that is hammer, anvil and the stirrup, okay. So with that, these windows also, so here this one is actually round window and here you can see a oval window, and along with that the eustachian tube, so all these are coming under the middle ear, okay. So other than that, yes ma'am, in myopia. Myopia is related to this thing, Parvez, related to the eye structure. So what exactly happens in myopia is image is supposed to be formed here. So let's say this is a eyeball, okay. So this is a eyeball. Image is supposed to form here on the retina, okay. So but what happens in case of myopia is instead of image formation here, the light rays are converging at a different end, okay. So image formation is occurring here. So because of that, so there is no clear image formation which we can see. So myopia is actually a short sightedness, okay. So that is why it can be because of the lens problem, or it can be because of the structure of this eyeball which is extended. So that could be the reason. Hi Anubhav, good evening. Okay. So here we were discussing about the endolymph, the perilymph and other things. So now inner ear or the membranous labyrinth, okay. So this is having two main parts. So we saw the cochlea and the semicircular canal. So I have drawn a semicircular canal which is already, you know, it is at right angles to each other. So cochlea is a spiral shaped structure which looks like a snail shell, okay, and it is mainly having 2.5 turn. So this is a 2.5 turn now. So we can find 2.5 turn with respect to the cochlea, and the inner winding cavity is divided into 3 parallel canal. So vestibular canal, then there is tympanal canal, and then there is median canal. So median canal is where we can find this organ of corti, a sensory cells are present, okay. So 2 is filled with the, so median 2, okay, so that is the median canal, so that is filled with the endolymph. The other 2, 1 and 3 are filled with the perilymph, okay. So now other than that, the middle canal contains the area possessing the sensory cell. So there are sensory cells also present. So spiral organ called as the organ of corti is present, which is mainly responsible for hearing, okay. So the nerve fiber arising from these cells will join the auditory nerve. So sensory cells will lie on the basilar membrane. So I'll just show this one, okay. So one thing what I'll do is I'll show you the auditory canal here itself, okay, just a second. Okay, what happened? Okay, so now here in this case, so as you could see, so there was a median canal. So let's say this is a cochlea now, okay. So cochlea, so there is a oval window and then there is round window, so there is joining. So 1, 2, 3 canals are there. So this is endolymph, this is perilymph, okay. So this is also a perilymph, okay. So now from these, as you can see, there is a basilar membrane which will be present onto this basilar endolymph area, that is median canal. So here we can find the sensory cell which is called as a organ of corti. So from each one of these the nerve fiber is arising, okay. So from each one of these the nerve fiber is arising and it is joining a auditory nerve. So from each one of these, so there will be arising of the nerve fiber or axon, because these are the sensory cells or the axon, which we can call. So now this is gonna connect with the auditory nerve. Okay, so this is now a auditory nerve. So nerve you have already studied. So nerve, when we mention, so basically group of neuron endings. Okay, so group of nerve fibers will be there. So nerve fiber, or we can also mention axons, will be there. So that is a nerve. So now group of axons which are here. So now it is like a cell body here. Okay, so these are like a cell body. Okay, so from each cell body, the axon which is arising. Okay, so axon which is arising, so that will be joining together, and a formation of a auditory nerve will occur. So this auditory nerve is connecting with the brain. Okay, so here with respect to that, so let's have a look at the other part of the inner ear. So inner ear is a set of semicircular canal, is there? Okay, so semicircular canals, so there is a ampulla region. So let's have a look at this one now. So let's say this is a semicircular canal. Okay, so there is this widened area. So this widened area, what is them? So this is called as a ampulla region. Okay, so at ampulla region itself, we can find the presence of sensory cells. Okay, so here let's say this is a semicircular canal here, then there is another semicircular canal, one more semicircular canal is present. So there is a widening which we can find at the end of this. Okay, so wherever widening part is there, so this widened part itself we call as a ampulla, and ampulla will have a sensory cells which are responsible for the dynamic balance. Okay, so the short stem joining the base of the semicircular canal, there is a utriculus and sacculus. Okay, so these two are responsible for maintenance of the static balance. So this is when the body is at rest, so this is when the body is at movement. So dynamic balance and static balance. Okay, so now moving on to the function of ear. So as the sound wave hits, okay, so let's say there is a sound wave. Okay, so sound wave will travel through the auditory canal. So this is now a tympanum. So as the sound wave hits, so this tympanum will start vibrating. Okay, so this tympanum will start vibrating, and as the vibration is set, so you can see that, so vibrating eardrum is set the 3 ear ossicles. So as you can see, so this is now a auditory canal. Okay, so here the sound wave is gonna hit, and this is the eardrum. So eardrum will start vibrating, and in connection we can find the ear ossicle hammer, then stapes is also there. Okay, so this one is a incus, and then there is a stapes or a stirrup. So these ear ossicle will also start to get the vibration. Okay, so eardrum will set the vibration of the last ossicle. So now these ear ossicles will also vibrate. So because of that, the amplification, okay, so amplification of sound wave will occur. So sound wave is gonna get amplified as the sound wave hits the eardrum. Okay, so now this eardrum will set into vibration. So as the sound wave is getting set into vibration, so this particular ear ossicles, what are they? So they'll also start vibrating. So because of that, so there will be a vibration that is set, and amplification of the sound wave will occur. Okay, so now this vibrating stirrup, so now this is vibrating. Okay, so this vibrating stirrup which is there, so that will transfer the vibration to the membrane of the oval window. So now it is moving through the oval window, that is into this fluid. So let's draw oval window here. So oval window will continue into a cochlea, and here the round window is there. Okay, so now what will happen? So here again a closing is there. Okay, so as the sound wave is touched, so fluid here also starts to vibrate. Okay, so now the fluid, the vibrating movement of the fluid, so this will stimulate the basilar membrane here. So as the vibration is set up throughout here, the basilar membrane having these organ of call type. Okay, so they will also receive the impulse. So now this impulse which is received over here, so that will set into a vibration. Okay, so vibration is set over here. So vibrating movements of the fluid stimulate the hair like processes of the sensory cells of the cochlea. Okay, so now cochlea's fluid will also set into a vibration, and from here, as there are axons which are moving, okay, or nerve fibers, so they are all connected to the brain. Okay, so it is connected to the brain through the auditory nerve. Okay, so now the impulse from this particular part, it is sent to the brain. Okay, so that is how we will hear the sound. So same with respect to the other thing. So different areas of cochlear canal, so these are basically different pitch we can hear. Okay, and different sound, so we can make out the difference between the male voice and then the female voice. So that is all depending on the pitch and the type of the vibration that are being reached and how the impulse is received by the brain. Okay, so we cannot pick up vibrations of all the rates. So our sensory cells, what are there, so they can receive this range. Okay, but most keenly heard sound is between this one. The dogs can perceive even higher frequencies. So for balancing, we already discussed about this one. So dynamic balance is by the sensory cells at the semicircular canal, that is mainly at the ampulla region. Okay, and the static balance is basically the utriculus and sacculus. Okay, so that is having a sensory cell. Okay, so randomly the sensory cells which are arranged at the utriculus and sacculus, so they are responsible for a static balance. So now I am able to sit in this position, so there is a chance that I can fall in this direction or this direction. So I am able to sit in this particular position with all the muscle coordination, a balance is being maintained. So that is mainly because of the utriculus and sacculus are having this neuron or a specialized cell, because of which the maintenance of a body balance is done. Okay, so any doubt? Is this clear? Any doubt you have? Parvez or Ishita, Samrithi, Anubhav, anybody? So this is with respect to balancing. So when you spin round and round, the fluid in your semicircular canal, so that will also start to spin. Okay, so that is for a short period of time, and after that you feel dizzy. Okay, so now the fluid which is there, so or the eye which are there, so they'll perform to and fro movement also because of this stimulation of the semicircular canal. Okay, so sea sickness, the air sickness, so you might have seen, so a lot of people do not feel good when they go to the sea, or a lot of people do not feel good when they are traveling in the aeroplane or helicopter anything. Then a lot of people also have the vomiting sensation when they are sitting in the car. So I have seen, okay, I myself was I couldn't manage this, so now I'm okay. So what used to happen whenever I used to sit in a car, so there is a vomiting sensation which I used to feel. So this is all mainly because spinning of this semicircular canal which is having a fluid. Okay, so that vibration is continuous in that, so the fluid is continuously vibrating, that is the ear fluid. So your body will take a time to analyze this particular vibration, and that is how one would since all these organs are again connected, so one would have a problem with respect to body balancing, or if it is related to car sickness, so as there is a spinning action going on, so one would feel the vomiting sensation also. So this is car sickness are often due to this unusual sensation related to the equilibrium. Okay, so the cochlea is a square shaped and it looks like a snail shell. Whether this is true or false? Yes, anybody here? So this one is actually false, okay, because this is not square shaped, this is spiral shaped, okay, and it is snail like also. Malleus can also be called as what? So hammer, incus, stirrup, and then anvil is given, so it is the hammer, okay. So the collect the sound wave dash, okay, so that is dash collect the sound waves and conduct it through the external auditory canal. So it is the pinna, the one which collects the sound wave. So air pressure on either side of the eardrum is equalized by Eustachian tube, okay. So Eustachian tube is the one which will equalize the pressure. So now before I end the session, so let me just say about this. So ongoing batches, okay, so this is the start of this batch is already 1st Feb, so you will have access to watch the recordings of this, okay. So complete syllabus coverage will be done in these batches. So basically mode of delivery is Hindi in Udan batch, the mode of delivery is English in case of champions batch. We have already started with the practice session for on one shot revision, the poll war are being said there, okay, and also there is a test series and analysis that we are running. So you will these test series and analysis are going to help you crack your finals also. And then Unacademy Prodigy is there. So for this one day to go, that is 27th, tomorrow at 12 to 1 p.m. So you can participate in this one because this is an aptitude test, okay. So this is an aptitude test where you will stand a chance to win different prizes, like different scholarship slabs are there, and other than that, so there is actually this thing, what is it, so you can win different prizes like MacBook, then iPhone, all right, so then Amazon Echo Dot, all right, so all these different products are there, so you can win different prizes with respect to that. And other than that, one second, yeah, so other than that, so you can download the Unacademy Learner app and start using all of these features. And this is my referral code which you can use to unlock also, which you can use this referral code for subscription, like 10% discount also you can use the same referral code, that is Vani YT, okay. So how to watch my special class? All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, click on the app and click on get started, enter your mobile number and OTP, sign up using your email ID, then you can select your class 6 to 12. So then you can also select the category ICSE, okay, then you can choose the language that you prefer to learn in, like English, Hindi, English, and use my code to unlock the special class for free, okay. So subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get the notification of the classes regularly, and click on like and share as well, and download the Unacademy Learners app, okay. So there also you can it is very it is beneficial for you all, as we are conducting quiz, as we are conducting one shot revisions there as well. So this is gonna help you all, okay. So see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone, thank you so much.